done such a good job where I feel like it's almost like our own bubble. It's so safe and everything's clean and so organized. It's awesome being here. Where I don't have to worry once I'm in these doors. I'm more worried about when I go home. But for me, the decision was easy. I'm excited. I want to play, and my family's behind me, so that made it easy for me.
Okay, we'll go Mike Rothstein next.
Hey, Matt, how are you? I have a couple questions. First, I was following up on that a little bit. Have you decided whether or not to homeschool your kids or what you're going to do there just because, like, you're talking about bubbles and wanting to be safe? What have those conversations been like?
My wife and I have talked about it. We've kind of gone back and forth with the virtual learning and different things. We're still kind of weighing our decisions. And for me personally, now I'm more worried about my kids going to school and bringing it home, and then I bring it into the building. And so that's, obviously something I've got to focus on and figure out. But we're still talking about it, and the schools are giving us different options on what we can and can't do as far as send them back or virtual and half and half and all that good stuff.
Also, what was the last few months like for you? I know you were mostly in Michigan, but like pandemic wise, like what did you do? How did you handle that? How did the family handle that?
We stayed in Michigan the entire time and just stayed busy. We got a lot of projects done at the house. Spent a lot of quality time with the kids. Basically built a home gym in my garage, so I've been working out and keeping busy that way, and just trying to keep my kids and my family safe. Kind of keep to ourselves, trying to stay as active and busy as we can without exposing ourselves too much.
Cool. Thanks, Matt.
We'll go Jen Hammond, then Tim.
Good afternoon, Mr. Prater. Nice to see your face. Glad you're healthy.
Thanks. You too.
I have two questions. The first one is, can you just kind of give us, you started to allude to it at the end of Kyle's question there about just the sense of being in the building and if it's surreal, what it's like with all of the protocols and all of the checkpoints and all of that. I know you said you're safe, but how strange and surreal is it?
It's like anything else, wearing a mask just like you have to in public. It's definitely a little different, but that's what everybody has to do to stay safe. And it's obviously different and kind of learn as we go. But if this is what we have to do to get back in the building and play and work as a team and get together with everyone, I feel like it's easy for us to do. And I think everyone in here just kind of feels we're all excited and just appreciative and happy to be here. And like I said before, the organization's kind of gone above and beyond and keeping us safe and, doing anything and everything they can for us as players to be in the building. So we're super excited and happy about that too.
I know that it's certainly as the season goes on, as the workouts go on, we're going to see more and more guys being added to the COVID list and whatnot. That's kind of part of the new normal. But how much does it hit home when you see Matthew Stafford on the COVID list?
Well, it's just kind of like you said, it doesn't discriminate. Anyone can get it at any time, whether you're being cautious or not. So it's just taking the extreme measures and trying to keep yourself safe and healthy. But yeah, it definitely hits home. It's scary, especially Stafford being such an important part of our team. But he'll come back and be ready to go.
Okay, we'll go Tim, then Justin.
Matt, obviously you've had, the same holder, same punter there for a long time. And Sam, he's moved on to Denver. Just curious, the newness of that operation, how that's going so far, and how much time do you really need to kind of, feel comfortable with a new guy the way you did with Sam?
It'll definitely take some time, but that's a big reason why I'm personally really excited being back in the building is to get to work with those guys in person and with Mule as well and Steve, just to make up on some of those lost reps that we missed without the OTAs. But moving forward, I think both those guys are more than capable. So they're going to work at it. We're going to work together and hopefully not miss a beat on the operation.
Justin?
Just building on that a little bit, what goes into getting comfortable with a holder?
I think just repetitions and getting used to each other, mannerisms, the timing, and just doing it over and over, and learning with each other. And everyone's going to be different, but like I said, I think they're both more than capable, and we're going to be working at it and get things rolling pretty quickly.
I know you were talking about breaking your own record. I'm just curious, obviously 36 now. How would you compare your leg strength now to whenever you viewed your peak? Is it's still about the same? Do you think you could make a 65 yarder in the right situation?
I definitely think I could. I feel really good this year going into it. I feel like I'm in better shape. I feel better. My leg feels really fresh right now. And like it's like anything else as a kicker. There's probably a dozen guys in the league that can make a 65 yarder. It's just getting the opportunity in an actual game and then coming through on that kick. But I'm definitely not as strong as I was when I was 22 to 25 years old, but I'm a lot more consistent. So it's kind of like evolving with my body changing and getting a little bit older, but kind of changing to kick it a little straighter.
Okay, we'll go Michael Stats.
How you doing, Matt?
Good. How are you?
Good. You're entering year 14, is it right?
Yep.
I'm just curious, as you prepare for another season in this stage of the game, do you switch up anything as far as your training methods to prepare yourself, nutrition, that kind of thing, to help elongate your career at this stage in the game?
Definitely just trying to eat a little better and kind of change, not lifting as heavy and doing more core and different things like that. And making sure I stay flexible because obviously when you get a little older, you get a little more stiff. And so things you got to work on a little more as you age. But I feel really good and excited going into the season.
And do you pick the brain of any of the older kickers that have been around a long time?
Not a ton, not really, because everyone's going to be different with their bodies and different things. So I'm kind of just learning as I go, and I kind of rely on coaches more so to kind of pick their brains and ask for advice or recommendations.
Thanks, man.
Mm-hmm.
Got time for two more if anybody's got one. Jen?
I could raise my hand faster than I could type. Hey, Matt, so give me a sense of how you think, just with all of the craziness that's going on, I think we've talked to some other guys about this in the offseason, how a team like the Lions may have an advantage going into this season when you've got, a lot of veterans and you've got a veteran quarterback and guys that have been in the system offensively, at least. I know the defense is getting some changes, but how that might help you guys and where you kind of think you are, if you can gauge before the season.
That's hard. That's hard for me because I'm kind of on my own island as a specialist. But I think with the veterans, there's not the learning curve, and obviously guys coming out of college played in a totally different program, totally different system. So having a lot of veterans with the leadership and knowing what to do, what not to do, and knowing the systems, I think will help us a lot.
Okay, we'll go Mike Rothstein for last question.
Yeah, Matt, you've talked a little bit about obviously opting out and what you've looked at with the concerns over COVID. What's your confidence level that y'all are going to be able to play? And really, what is your comfort level with actually playing games and being out there and traveling and the whole situation?
I'm comfortable with it. Just because, for one, with the organization, I don't think they'd ever put any of us at risk. And same with the league. So I'm really confident going into the season that we're going to be able to play. And for me personally, I'm, not. I wouldn't say I'm not overly concerned. I'm definitely concerned, but like I said, I trust in our leadership and everybody in the organization and the league to, not put us at risk and keep us all safe and healthy.
Thanks, man.
Ken Brown, last one.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I don't know if this is asked. I just came in. Since Sam's not here this year, gonna have a different holder this year. How much time does it gonna take you to get used to having a new holder, and how long does that natural flow together come, especially if the punter's not chosen until maybe the last or the third cut? Before the first game.
Right. It'll definitely take a little time, but like I said, we're gonna get to work pretty quick now that we're all back in the building, and it'll take some time. I'm sure there'll be growing pains, but hopefully we'll get through that stuff going before the season, so we're not kind of working through things once we get going. But I don't think it'll take too long to get acclimated to each other, especially with Muehlbach being here and being the elder statesman in our group, thankfully. But definitely excited to work with those guys, and I think we'll get rolling and not miss a beat once we get going.
All right, thanks everyone. We're going to end the call and restart it for Jared Davis here in a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Pat.